Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Small Rebellions podcast. My name's Asher, and today we are going through the next in my blog from 8 years ago now. And so this one is called Beauty, and I wrote it on August 31st, 2016. I just have to let you know I had a crush on this one girl, and I may have written part of this about her to some extent, or been a little bit inspired by that. She's married now, and she's happy, and I'm happy for her too. But I just want you to know if this one feels a little bit more like romantic, maybe a little bit less harsh as opposed to the last one I just did, then then you should find this a little bit better. I wrote this on August 3rd, 2016. Beauty is something we all have a part of. Beauty is something emphasized in culture but frowned upon for discussion. In a culture that emphasizes sexuality compounded with outward appearances with little regard to feeling, beauty should be discussed as an inward trait that we all discover within ourselves as we talk and meet one another, as opposed to an outward trait that makes us sexually attractive or comparable with one another. My perception of beauty is this: it's a measure of goodwill in a person compounded with their willingness to extend it towards others. Goodwill, extended exclusively to self, is selfishness. And while there are certain things that we need to be in survival mode about, I think there are many ways we thrive when we extend goodwill to others. I think goodwill is something that we have. I think that goodwill is something that we all have a reluctant capacity for. I think that beauty, at its core, has something to do with goodwill. My first few days at Loyola Marymount have been great, but what has been shocking to me is the amount of goodwill extended to me by many people and how much I have been willing to give, and how much I have been willing to give many the benefit of the doubt. That was a weird sentence, y'all. I'm sorry. While I strive towards this on a daily basis, I get skeptical of people, and more often than not, do not extend this. Needless to say, I'm a work in progress, just like every other person on the planet right now. Beauty is not only goodwill, it is also honesty with others about the flaws that we all have. It is allowing ourselves to get off our high horses and our pedestals and our mountains and to simply be real with people. Our ability to simply be with people and offering our presence to each other, our awareness to each other at the most basic level, is beautiful in ways many will never understand. I have many who have simply been with me in very roller coaster moments of spiritual realization and forgiveness, and all they needed to do was just be there. I went down to Reality LA Sunday night. I went to church there for a while. Great church, great podcast. Go check it out. And they talked about spiritual depression and what we can do for those in it. The guest pastor from Boston brought up a quote, the point of which was, when we give advice, we acquit ourselves of being present with the person in pain. Which is essentially say we play this role of like a doctor and we refuse to feel. We just say, oh, I don't feel that, you should pull up that way, apply this and get out of the feeling. We don't forsake our own comfort to be uncomfortable with other people. So I remember that a little bit more. That jogged my memory a little bit. Sometimes all we need to do is be there for one another. It's that simple. We are all capable of beautiful things, and we embrace darkness and are reluctant to know good. So how do we do good when we are reluctant to know it? In my life, I pray, I think, I ponder deeply. After all of those, I extend warmth and interest to all, offering brotherly love to anyone who might accept a few moments of genuine interest from someone else. I love meeting people, so for me, the first prayer and ponder is directly related to my ability to extend love to other people. In my own capacities, all I can do is see the means to an end in a person, someone to be a puzzle piece in my ambitions, not a companion. I still struggle with this today, and that's not the blog post, that's just me. In love, I see people for who they are and who they hope to become, and I get excited about what they are hoping to do, and all I want to do is see if I can help. And while it's nice to get a little help in return, I never expect it. And when I have reflected on all my God has done for me, my faith has changed a lot since then. I think it's decreased. Yeah, I would hope. I'm a little bit more transactional. I just feel I need to survive a little bit better, a little bit more. So that's an interesting thing to read and to feel. Beauty is goodwill, the ability to extend it, the ability to love others, for the sincere interest of who they actually are and who they hope to become. Beauty is not making money, having the right look or the right crowd. Beauty is something that can be found anywhere in anyone. Also, from a dude to all the ladies out there, I'm going to be very honest. I think you all are awesome. I get sad when you think you have to look and be a certain way to get a dude's attention. However, I find it fascinating that you take great pride and care of your expression through your appearance and remain polite in tough situations. Many of which having to do with guys being stupid and not noticing a hint or two to back off. Women have a different perspective on life that sheds a different and sometimes more profound narrative on who we all are as human beings. To the dudes, there's nothing else on this earth more confident than we are. We see the very best in every situation and have a keen sense of opportunity about us. That makes us really go for anything we set our minds to, good or bad. I get sad to think that all we are expected to do is drink and make money, and that we need so and make more money than we need, so that we can be so rich as to objectify women and disregard their souls for sexual pleasure. Granted, reminding you, I grew up in LA, I grew up in Orange County. I'm going to school in LA, so I saw a lot of this. I enjoy taking pride in my ability to be social, my ability to be strong, and my ability to be knowledgeable, as does everyone regardless of gender. So I challenge anyone who reads this to rebel against the norm by looking for the deeper beauty inside all of us, to extend goodwill to others, and to do whatever you can to extend the reach of your goodwill beyond yourself, and to see people not just for their circumstance, but for what circumstance they hope to be in. I challenge the genders to look at each other for what we are strong at, and to accept that both have distant weaknesses that require community between the genders. I think the way I was trying to say that is we are equal, we are separate, we are different, and we are complementary. Meaning women can do stuff men can't do, and men can do stuff women can't do, but when we all pool together, we can do it all. Go against the norm of what we see each other of each other. Go beyond yourself and the realizations and experiences of love. Go beyond physical identifiers and see people for their soul, their hopes, their dreams. Jesus does that every single day with each of us. The only difference is that his hopes and dreams for us are better, but that comes from a place of deeply loving our souls and being in the disposition of our great creator, ruler of all. I think the interesting thing here is that if I'm comparing myself to this idea that I wrote years ago, I don't live up to this as much as I should. And I also think it's a matter of, I have more recently, I think, in church circles, there's such a scarcity mindset amongst pastors and ministry leaders. It seeps into who I am, into the way I work, because, I'm not going to even make an excuse, but I'm just going to say this: give to your local church so that they can hire people like me who want to help spread the gospel. It's a win-win. Your tithe doesn't just go to a pastor's salary, although a large chunk of it does. We can talk about how controversial that is or isn't, but yeah, I think beauty, extending goodwill to other people, just being generous with your time, talents, and treasures. I think church has given that a bad name because they expect it to be done in their direction. Anyway, it's crazy time. Yeah, embrace beauty, embrace generosity, embrace people for who they would like to be, not just for who they are. Look deeper, be more intentional, and do all of that in a world that is very shallow and very spontaneous and very unintentional. Anyway, that's that. I'll see you guys on the next one.